just waiting for a couple of people to log in and waiting for one of the brothers to pull up. I told everybody we was going to do it at 7, but we had to get early because we got a couple of people going out of town. So bear with me. Yeah, brother, if you brother, peace, Islam, more. On my page the other day, I gave all the information where you can purchase my books. All you have to do is get the download the Cash app to your mobile phone, store our office number, which is 702-272-4775. Once you store that in your mobile phone, more, you can order books. And also, more, I have like I give them ID cards, and I just got a new machine. So on the next lecture, the ID cards are just for our school. And most of the brothers that donate $55 a month, I send them all books and literature so they can have, and it's well worth it. And on your membership to our schooling, it's tax exempt. So when you go to different places and order books, it's tax exempt. Like when you order books from me, it comes with a tax exempt receipt that you can claim when you file your taxes. Everything about me is really, I'm a business. But that's all you have to do, Noble, and I'll go over all my books that I have. But I tell all Moors, if they say they Moors, they definitely need the Divine Creed of Moorish Islam. It's a couple books that I'm going to go over real fast, and then I'm going to get the intro going on. But I'm going to go over this again. This is our coloring book that we've created, me and my Empress, and some of the children. It's a coloring book, and it has pictures of them. It has pictures of our young Empresses, you know, that they can color. It has pictures of our young queens. So it's a lot of things in here that you can see representation of themselves. My interpretation of the Divine Creed of Moorish Islam. If Moors don't know what the Divine Creed of Moorish Islam is, you don't have to ask and be wondering and getting false information. I have the literature. You can research it for yourself. All my literature is $30. It's just, I'm an author. And people will say, well, why? It should be free. Why should it be free? We order other things that we pay for. I'm an author. The literature is save your life. 14. Oh, I'm sorry. You said your connection was bad for a minute more. I already have the Cash app. Yeah. 14 Asiatic science and history. The children write on this. This is peer-reviewed scholarly research, and it blow their mind. Healthy eating and living. When I show the kids how to work out, when I show them how to, okay, oh, that's somebody that's hit me up. That was my mother. When I show them how to eat right, work out right, different herbs and stuff to blend. Black scholars who debunk Eurocentric propaganda. We need to know who the work that's been done. We need to share the work that's been done. When I tell brothers and sisters, they act like I didn't come up with this science. This was before me. I have real degrees. I have a bachelor's degree in business. I'm in first century history and ancient religion. I'm getting a PhD in indigenous people law and policy. I have my degrees, my ADAPT degrees. I'm part of the Philosophical Society in California. I'm a 99th degree ancient primitive rite in Memphis and Mizraim. It's just what it is, man. It's just what it is. We create our own clothing. We have press machines. We create our own hats. We create everything. I'm waiting for one brother to come in, so that's, come on in. And we'll be finishing. We just getting started. We're going to get the intro going. Peace. Peace. We got our vegan snack book, and this was one that my Empress and my daughter really put together because they really like snacks, but they like to use them without sugars and things. And there's ways to create. It's okay. You Are What You Eat, our vegan cookbook, the triple rows of the adapt chamber. That's the first thing. If you see a Moor, he say he's some grand sheik and he don't know what the triple rows of the adapt chamber is, and he don't understand what science for yourself. I have all the manuscripts. Ain't nothing secret. Sacred, yes, but definitely not secret. This is what all the Moors should be having the wisdom. We should be sharing the wisdom with our wives, our children, our community. That's what I'm trying to build. Moorish American Light of Ali and the Moorish Adapt Study Guide, the House of Ali Mysticism, the Egyptian Adapt Prophet and Angel. I mean, the science, I have the science. You can read it. You can dissect it. You can see all the mantras, everything that you need. And I also have the essence of the chemical element of Moorish archival. Stuff that we gather and compile, and we're going to put out, you know, for ourselves and our children. It's going to be redone, and I'm going to collaborate with at first I was thinking about a book company, but a lot of it I'm going to do on my own because I'm an entrepreneur, and I know how to author and everything myself. I just don't have the tools to put the books together. Like, for instance, it'd be binded like this. If any Moors have the information, let's link up. Let's do things. You know, I have a price that Baker Books and a couple other publishing companies is going to trying to charge, but they want to link up. Actually, I'll tell you one thing before we finish. A company tried to buy all my publishing for my books, tried to offer me some money for my books, but they wanted the publishing. You can't buy me for no couple of dollars to take my literature off the books. And some of the European Masons that, when I go do lectures, that be at my lectures on college campuses, they know what the wisdom is, and they like, I don't understand why all your people are not under the wisdom. And I'm like, well, sometimes we caught up in religious dogma. So, before we do that, we're gonna get this. I'm gonna let this song play real fast, and I'm gonna let one more brother in, set the atmosphere. We're gonna get started. We've only been in 10 minutes, so let me get this started. We'll come back, get our prayer on, and set things right, and get this teaching. It's gonna be great. I'm telling you. So be patient with me. Let's set the vibe.
Has been in the hands of people who have created an image of Africa that's negative and hateful. And it has been hateful to us. We haven't wanted to identify with it. But now that Africa is getting independent and in to create its own image, and it's a positive, those of us in the West look at the African image and see how positive it is, we begin to identify with it. We become proud of Africa, and
be proud of our heritage. Somebody said earlier tonight, we don't have anything to be ashamed of. Somebody told a lie. It was the teaching of Marcus Garvey. Camera the seas, glory of kings. If I and I Selassie and keep the back of the blue eyes for ourselves. People without a vision perish like suicide.
We obey all the laws and the prophets, man.
You tell me it's not about color, still you refuse to take the picture off the wall. Oh, yeah. All you do is trick the brothers, keep them confused. They don't know who to call on. In this I will take a walk, and you tell me of a paradise in the sky, but that's a lie. And you tell me I was born in sin and shaking iniquity when love created I. Look how many prophets tried to open our eyes. You can't fool me. No, no, no. Look how they're treating us. This new millennium slavery. I see them hiding the chairs and still beating us daily. And now we mentally rising to fight with black skin. And I'm bleaching at the ending, far out and far in. You tell me it's not about color, still you refuse to take the images out your books. I know the push. Don't take offense when we show black power. It jars us through. We've been abused. Just like the shoes. And the dead paradise in the sky. But that's a lie. Don't tell me I was born in sin and shaken iniquity, and love created I. Look how many prophets tried to open our eyes. You can't fool me.
then why would you want to go there?
Well, I think it's my duty to give my
including Abyssinia, which is Ethiopia, if we didn't know that. But we obey and respect all the laws and the prophets if we understand their science. Buddha, Confucius, Jesus, which is Yahshua, Muhammad. I hope we know this, man. We're not here to diss anything. And we're not here to gravitate to one essence to where we miss all the science and the essence of everything else. We are master craftsmen and scientists. Being no more has nothing to do with no religious dogma. So things in the atmosphere we're going to teach, man. But this is our divine warning to read and proclaim this proclamation at each meeting. And it was dated January 15th, 1929, and it reads, I hereby inform all members that they, but I'm gonna put it in person tense, that we must end all radical agitating speeches while at work or in the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders would be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, my 2 cents, health and wealth. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member who or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple of the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement. I hope you know what the divine covenant is. If you don't know, I have it. And violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. Not nothing outside yourself. We got to understand in Moorish science when we say Allah, what it manifests and what it means. Arm, leg, arm, head. That's the manifestation of man. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by our prophet. If we lose confidence in our prophet, we should turn in our card and button, cease wearing our turban and our fezzes, and return to the state where we were found. This is a holy and divine movement. Holy and divine. It's nothing criminal. It's nothing unlawful about being a Moor. All that squatting, that ain't got nothing to do with Moorish science. It's a such thing in real estate where it's a legal genre, but you have to understand what that's all about. But this is a holy and divine movement founded by our American prophet. Founded by our American prophet. Our American prophet. Our American prophet. Our American prophet. Yourself and adapt. Tribe and lineages he come from. You know his background. But this is a holy and divine movement founded by our prophet, Noble Drew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. And that's esoterically and exoterically. And I hope my Moors and my adapts and my true Moors masters understand what I'm talking about. If you say you 720. Well, if you say you 720, you should know what I'm talking about. When I talk about these workman tools, when I talk about this 720, not just dealing with the material, which is 360 or 33 degrees, snowmen. But this is a holy and divine prophet founded by American prophet Noble Drew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out a divine plea to all Moorish Americans that we do our part in protecting the temple. That's esoterically and exoterically. For example, or an analogy I would give, I see so many brothers dissing certain Moorish temples, and the first thing I ask is, have you been to a temple? No. Well, how do you know? Because if you've been to one, you call it out. If you've been to one and they talking that bullcrap trying to convert you to some Islam or saying you got to do this, you need to call it out. Islam, more Islam. You need to call it out. If it's saying some crap, if anybody's saying something different than what I'm saying and what this Moorish science is, tell them to show you documents. If they telling you the Moorish science temple ain't legit with an affidavit, you can look all this stuff up in the county clerk's office. Everything I said, you can look everything up. Ain't no secret. Stuff was sent to the President Bush. I have all the documents. This is no fake stuff. We're talking about nationality and people getting it twisted. I say a lot of this history and this science was hid. And I want to say it's new, it's hidden. I've been at all the libraries on all campuses. This stuff is there. All of the missing biblical scriptures. But it's songs that's elite. People like to connotate you with spooky stuff like Illuminati, which just means enlightened. Certain figures and certain people are not enlightened to come across the wisdom. And I'm not blowing my horn. I'm just telling you I am. And I share it with my people. It's just what it is, man. So let's finish. This is an everlasting movement founded by our prophet Noble Drew Ali. through the will of Allah to redeem his sinful ways, Moors. I hope we know that. We got to make things right. If a brother, I hear so many more say, I deal with civics. And I say, well, what about the divine? Because when you open your mouth, you speak from nobility. People want to be around you. You don't speak from a, how can I say it, a boastful or prideful way. When you're in situations when you have to defend yourself, which is your right. But I can get all into law. I can get all into indigenous people law when I tell brothers, research the doctrine of discovery, then ask questions. It's in the atmosphere. We talk about real history and law. Research the doctrine of discovery. You don't know what that's about? Then I'm sorry. You say you some Moor or some black person and you don't know what the doctrine of discovery was all about? Something wrong with you. You don't know history. You definitely don't know what this world about. I promise you. Real history. That nothing was hidden. Just like when I show you the history books, the Battle of Bunker Hill, that 1776, when I show you in the history books at school, they took Peter Salmon and Oliver Cromwell out the pictures. And I show you this stuff. It's just what it is. Real history, real law. When I tell you Abraham Lincoln was an attorney and he defended the Moor in court, talking about just because his skin was black. Don't you know the Dred Scott law? You got to get down with science and understand what this is all about. But may the benison of Allah, which is arm, leg, arm, head, be upon thee and thine always, as we all should strive to be a credit to arm, leg, arm, head. Make haste to bestow the acts of love upon our brethren, and we should do our best to shun all the evil. Remember to take suckle of the breast of knowledge, wisdom, fortitude, charity, love, and all standing, that we all might nourish the souls of all men. Let the truth be thy shield in the manifest battles of falsehood, Moors. Knowest that we never have to pick the locks to the gates of paradise family by means of petty or lying or criminal. For behold, family, for behold, Moors, all my Hebrew, everybody that want to connotate themselves, this is one nationality with many cultures. You don't have to strip your culture. The key to salvation already rests within our own hands. And yes, Moors, even a portion of our nature is weakness, instability, inconsistency. But the greater part of us, you got to understand it when the brothers, when I teach this hieroglyphics, when I show you that the Egyptian alphabet, how it has the YHWH all in the Egyptian alphabet, man. When I teach from the Silent Brotherhood of the East, when I show you who the circle and the circle is, when I show you in the when I show you in our Moorish Quran, the Hebrew God is the rising star is the deity of Allah. It's in the writing. And when I teach, and brothers like, man, where you get this from? I said, you say you're Moor, you should be reading it. Everything I'm saying is written in our books about our workman tools, about our science. And so when brothers be dissing, I say, that's not Moorish science. Moors don't diss nothing. There's nothing to diss when you're a historian, when you're an adapt, when you connect the dots, when you understand geographical landmass, when you understand language, when you can't get caught up in linguistic apartheid. You have to understand the whole Circle 7 Quran is about the 18 missing years of Jesus, which is Yahshua's life. And if any more say it ain't, they lying to you. Just like the Aquarian Gospels, Noble Drew Ali was a student. He was a brilliant man. Chapter 11, verse 43, anymore. Write this down if you don't got your Circle 7 Quran. And I quote, the Hebrew prophet is the rising star of wisdom, defied. What? The Hebrew prophet. Who is the Hebrew prophet? I hope you know. Is the rising star of wisdom defied. He brings to us a knowledge of the secret things of Allah. Who? This Hebrew prophet, fool. That's who you, all these Negroes just arguing with you for no reason. They don't have the wisdom. They don't have the books. Empress, when you get a chance, can you pull out my chart that man is made in the image of God? When I connect all this, man, when I connect metaphysics, Hebrewism, all this stuff, all our diet, all the same stuff. You get connotated with groups and splinter groups. It should be, I think it's on the thing. You can give me that one. And then the other one, my made in the image of man, my IDMR charts. Thank you, babe. But verse 43. The Hebrew prophet is the rising star of wisdom defied. He brings to us the knowledge of the secret things of Allah, and all the world will hear his words and glorify his name. You priests of the temple, convinced to stay, be still, and listen. When he speaks, when who speaks? This Hebrew prophet. He is the living oracle of Allah. Come on, Moors. Read it. Highlight it. Quote me. Quote it. Oh, I'm glad you got that one because that's in my speaking today. That's in my speaking. Thank you, babe. My Empress home hooking me up. I'm telling you, Moors, research it. When brothers be talking the Silent Brotherhood of the East, it's all in here. It talks about it. It talks about it, Moors. Jesus, which is Yahshua, received the mystic name and number and passes the first brotherhood test. What? This Hebrew master is the logos of the Holy One, the circle of human race, the seven of time. I can go on and on. And the record book, the scribe wrote down the logos, circle 7. And thus was Jesus, which was Yahshua, was known. Man, we can go on. I can go and get in chapter 8 and connect this esoteric science, this metaphysics. You don't understand analogies. Man, it's all our science. I can go on and on, but I want to kind of stick with this teaching because we're going to do a historical teaching today, man. It's going to be nice, and I hope you got your pens. I hope you got your pens. I'm going to show you some too. I'm going to quote some because I always connect history and biblical scripture when I tell you. I don't care what you do. If you're a scientist and if you're a real philosopher, you can show, yeah, that one. Thank you, babe. You can show history and religion all across the board and get the essence and show you things. I'm going to show you, I'm going to talk about an arrival of Ephesians. If you read in that story, Ephesus was the main city of the Roman province of Asia. One thing you got to understand when I get in my lecture, I'm going to show you this Louisiana Purchase map, and I'm going to show you everything was already here. You have to understand geographical landmass. You have to really be a philosopher and start doing research, start connecting dots, start getting old manuscripts, and see they talking about Africa. See they talking about Akibalan, showing that they're going over to the eastern areas and so-called colonizing or converting, stripping people from their gods. And over there they found the indigenous people and they prayed to the statue of Artemis. And when you research history, this is the picture of Artemis. Just like the other Mary they pray to, the black, you know what I'm talking about. And so when you look up in the museums, it's changed to white. It's a lot of things that's connotated. That's why I say, brothers, I have to show you Egyptians, Moors, all through one nationality, many cultures. And I'm sorry, I have pictures. When I find my museum book, I'm gonna show you the statues in Egypt. Those are Moors. There's 3 of them. It's that little book, babe. I have to find it, but that'll be for another later lecture. Research that science, what I'm talking about. Research that science, family. And if any Moors want to know that statue, just say yeah, and I'll pull the book up on the next lecture when I got time, because I got so much up there. It'll take me a minute to find it. So we're gonna talk about a little bit of we're gonna start off with a little bit of the what they didn't teach a lot of us in school, and I want you to have your pens. You got to remove your feelings because the pen was changed, and if the pen doesn't match the Carmen Dayton, you don't change the Carmen Dayton, you change the pen. I'm trying to tell you all through religious history and history, things was changed. When brothers, and I have to be honest, man, I study all crafts. I'm welcome in all houses. But when brothers put their feelings in it because they gravitate to a certain religious dogma, then I have a problem with it. Like when some Moors gravitate, they say they Al-Islam. And I say, well, man, that's no different from European Christianity. That's no different from European Christianity when it's some pie in the sky, when it's some outside yourself. In European Christianity, your prophet is Jesus, which is Caesar Borgia, all them different pictures. If you're a historian, it's just what it is. Research who Caesar Borgia is. And in Al-Islam, some outside yourself, their prophet is someone that don't look like you, someone that don't speak like you. And a lot of Muslims, they say, well, he was this. Okay, I feel you. I get that. I gave you all that. You know, that's all good. You say, what? Islam, where you gave a class like that, you reference to the book about the Metro Nether, the Hebrew. Oh, that's in one of my books, the slave ship from Judah. That's one of my books. I'll find. That's one of my books from slave ship from Judah. When you can, let me see. Yeah, that's this history right here. The Negro Question Part 2, the African slave ships that came from Judah. You can find all the maps in the libraries and everything. It'll show you everything from, it'll show, oh no, This, oh, it's this one with the, oh, I know what you're talking about, but that's a good one. It's this one. Let me see. It's this one. It's this one. The Negro Question Part 3. The Black Pentecost. You talk about this, brother. Not what you talk about. Not what you talk about. When you got the brothers talk about they some Egyptologists, and then when you speak of the YHWH, them Negroes get amnesia. They get selective amnesia because they not historians. I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm just a historian and saying I ain't here for no religious dogma. I connect the dots. Negroes don't read; they not historians. If you research the book Anisette and Joseph, you connect the dots. It wasn't no different from who they think the damn who they think Moses was. Moses was a Levite. Come on, man. Yeah, I'll post the link, man. But these brothers talk about they some Egyptologists, and then when I say, well, you're an Egyptologist, if you should know what these signs and symbols means. You should know that in Egypt, it was two Hebrew pharaohs, Sabakos and Sabatos. If you're a historian, if you're not coming from religious dogma, I don't do that. I have students, man. Like when I talk about the slave ships from Judah, which is Benin, which you get geographical landmass, Egypt and Judah was right by each other. I mean, we have to do the science, man, but a lot of us don't. We stuck. So, but when brothers say, when I hear some of them Moors and they go with this Islam stuff, and even my brothers that's Moors and they under European Christianity, I say you could be under any religious creed to where you don't gravitate to one where you miss the essence of all of them. But if you under some organized religion like Islam and like Christianity, we just have to be historically facts. In those organized religion, it's some pie in the sky, and the part of you must die. Especially in both religions, they say your black skin is a curse. It's some dumb curse of Ham, which is asinine. I prove that's not logical. I prove in the biblical scriptures that the black man is the father of the civilization. That's why when the Novus Testamentum came out with them groups of Europeans, wrote the parts of the New Testaments, they say that a Canaanite cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. But you say Moabite and a Morite, and you don't understand that's you. Just like in the Hebrews text, it says Abyssinia. That's Ethiopia. But we getting stuff so twisted, man. You let somebody let you think that more. And then the same charts can be explained in our science charts. The same chart, the same story, it can be explained. If you're a scientist, you know what this is all about. If you're a scientist, if you just on some mumbo jumbo, that's messed up. I said, if you understand what this is, you know what this is about. This is the 720. This connected a lot of the wisdom and the science. This explained a lot of the stuff. The Quran, all the essence, all the alchemical science, all of what's above is below. Every constellation had 12 deacons having to do with your brain. Exactly. But it's all science. It's all alchemical science. This stuff is old. This stuff can be brought up in all scriptures. This same thing what I'm talking about right here. This same chart is this right here, boy. That's why I say when we gravitate to one wisdom, we mess it. That same chart that shows is this right here. It's the same wisdom. It's the same way. If we don't understand, we lost. We talking about nothing outside of man's physical temple. Nothing outside of man's physical temple. Man, it's so much wisdom, man, that it's been connotated. The story's been written, but it just should be explained. Nothing outside. When we talk about alchemy, changing the metals, that's you. You know? You have to get it's a lot more. I don't teach nothing. You teach yourself. That's what's in the ADAPT manual books. It's something and that's what I tell more like, if you saying somebody gonna teach you something, then it's the vessel. If a person teaches you something, you're not writing, you're not practicing. I don't care what trinkets you have, the vessel must practice repetitions. So if you don't have the wands, you don't have the things, it's you. And that's one of the secrets of the Kemetic principle, the law of attraction. You attract certain things to you. That's what's in the ADAPT manual. That's what's in. That's what this is. That's what this is right here, Moors. Ask your more if you go to. That's what That's what the Moorish America's Light of Ali and the Moorish Adapt Study Guide, the House of Ali Mysticism, the Egyptian Adapt, Prophet and Angel. That's what it is. That's the Adapt chamber. You go through. The Adapt chamber, understanding the triple role of the Adapt chamber, understanding those 3 rites, understanding esoteric science when we get into our Moorish masonry. All you have to do, I show Moors how to download. If this is one of the books you want, I tell them what it is. All my books taxes up. I'm a real business, but that's what my literature costs. I'm an author. I mean, that's it right here. All the mantras, all the conjuring, everything that you need to do is in the Adapt manuals. And if Moors keeping this from each other, I'm sorry. But the work has been done. The work has been done. The work has been done, family. If you don't know what the interpretation of the divine creed of Moorish Islam is, and you're going around thinking it's some Al-Islam, if you don't understand what the interpretation of the divine creed of Moorish Islam is, that's messed up. That's how you can stand strong on your square when somebody be talking garbage. That's how you stand strong on your square when somebody talking garbage of what Moorish science is and what it's not. Well, you should say, all you have to do is quote from our divine creed. And if any Moors saying something different, they made their own thing up. That's some religious dogma. I'm here to teach, man. I'm here to teach. Our kids, our babies need to know who we are historically. They need to get out of spookism. They need to get out of thinking everything didn't come from them. They need to stop thinking that everything is black, is ugly. They need to stop that. They got to understand this science, this masonry, all these stuff, this come from Moors, man. Angelo Solomon. Research who Angelo Solomon is, man. Research who really Mozart is. Research all this stuff. In my lecture, I'm going to show you the Louisiana Purchase map. All this stuff was over here. So let's get into our subject, man. And we're going to be done. I got like 20 minutes, and I'm going to chill. So the first part of history that they didn't teach a lot of the family in school, if Moors were not modern Arabs. So we say modern Arab because being Arab does not mean that one was not a Moor. And I hope you follow me. The confusion comes in because Arab is a language group as well as a national identity in modern times, or Western times. Arab in the term of in a genetic sense is anyone, or how can I say a generate or speaking is anyone that speaks that language of Arabic. If you a Jew ain't nothing have to do with the blood. If you believe in Judaism, if you speak Yiddish because they don't speak Hebrew, I'm telling you, Moors are what would be considered the so-called Africans. If you follow me, I'll show you all this in history. That's why they don't teach you the war of Ferdinand and Isabella. Too much history. The definition changed over time to what? Misnomers. Misnomers. Look up what misnomers is. When I tell brothers and sisters, I say, don't get caught up in your feelings. Research what the reason why we don't know, because words being looked over that we don't know. And the person that connotates you. I have those in some of my ancient books. Those are some of the ancient books when the pen was changed. Like if you read in the Hadith, it says that Muhammad was white and how he called blacks raising heads. Well, in some of the ancient books, he was short and brown. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. Just like one of the books I'm gonna bring out is called Russian Icona by Vladimir Ivanov, and it shows how all academia, how they all went over there, and in the museums they repaint everything. And the book cost me about like $1,100. You can research. You can find that book on Amazon if you want to buy it for yourself. I think it might be on sale for like $700 now. But it got all the documents in there. It's showing you. Just like in the book of Maccabees, it tell you how the heathen, which is a Gentile, tried to whitewash themselves in the history books. You don't have to listen to me. It's there. Just like a lot of Russian icona, the pictures, when they show that the prophet were black, how they rewrite the icons. You don't got to listen to me. You don't have to believe nothing I say. I'm a historian and a teacher. If you're willing to get the books, the literature, do the research just like I've done. I've purchased all the books. I tell people that if you want to be a student, you can be a student and get certain things. But certain things I post and I tell you get for yourself, you can have or research them. A lot of stuff I have costs a lot. Like the hidden cause of civil war. the true history of the Western Indian. They make those books cost millions of dollars. But Northern African Berber, late 14th century, from Old French, M-O-R-E, from Medieval Latin, M-O-R-U-S, from Latin, M-A-U-R-U-S, inhabitant of Mauritania, Northwest Africa, a region now corresponding to North Algeria and Morocco. From Greek, Moros, M-A-U-R-O-S, perhaps a native or a native with the M-A-U-R-O-S, the Moros, which is black. But this adjective only appears in late Greek, and many as well, it might be from the people's name as the beginning statement what I said, family. So what it's pertaining to is being a dark people in a relationship or the relation to Europeans. Their name in the Middle Ages was a synonym for Negro. Later in 16th century, 17th century, used indiscriminately of Muslims, Persians, Arabs, etc. I hope you follow me. But especially those in India. Research etymology. When we talk about etymology of the word, so you won't get caught up in it. Like at the circus, the Ringling Circus goes back to centuries. The earliest mention of the carnival, it comes from the Middle Ages. The Ringling is the city of the Mora, the launderers, as Ringling once performed in a circus, was among other things a so-called black man. Y'all hope y'all know this family. A Moor with troops. Research the wisdom. When I show you all through history, be proud. You're not a Negro, you're not black, you're not colored, you a Moor. And if anybody tell you that the Moor is an Arab, I'm sorry, you've been connotated. Just like Jew, and genetically a Jew is nothing. Genetically, the Jew, Igbo. I hope we know this wisdom, no bias place. I'm coming from science. You've been connotated, linguistic apartheid, sham, had, because we won't study. The inhabitants of the city, which had previously seen a black man. But man, I wish I had that book upstairs that's on the table that's talking about Africa before it even, before the Europeans and all that. But can you bring that down for me, please, honey? And my the book of the coming forth. They on the table right upstairs, my queen, my empress. I gotta be nice. My birthday was yesterday, so I'm still trying to get her to get my books and stuff. We ordered a lot of wisdom for family to share. But anyway, that's why in the Netherlands, research the Netherlands of Black Pete, how they try to say the word they pray to Moors, the wisdom, but it's connotated. Research it in the Netherlands. Research the story of Black Pete, Swarty Pyatt. And if you don't understand what it's talking about, I'll give you the wisdom. But he was a black, you know. The goal has moved 50s, the custom of one of the Moor and his wife, but it's not. I hope you know what I'm talking about. Or Mizraim, when we talk about in the biblical scriptures, Mizraim is Egypt, the son of Ham, and accordingly, the line of Seth, as corrected by certain scholars, the son of Mizraim. If it takes the blood of Jesus, which is Yahshua, if we're going to talk about this Hebrew prophet, to be saved, then the so-called blacks, the indigenous people, were born saved. Why? Like I told you in biblical scriptures, Jesus was of Moabite and Canaanite blood. And so is in our DNA. In case a lot of us didn't know, Canaan was one of Ham's sons. Ham in the Bible is supposed to be the father of the so-called blacks. Not to mention that Ruth was a Moabitess. That's why when the Albion wrote that a Canaanite or a Morite or a Moabite can't enter the kingdom of heaven, who do you think they're talking about? What's the line of genealogy of Yahshua the Messiah? Or they got to say Jesus. Huh? You know the answer to that? Abram, Boaz, by Ruth, Jesse, King David, Solomon, Hezekiah, Joseph, spiritual father, by Mary. So you don't need, and I have to say it, this whitewashing of what we're talking about. When they try to say everything that has this color of black is evil, and that's not true. I'm telling you. You got to remember, if more, they talk about reparations, slaves can sure get compensation. Understand the science and the wisdom what damages are an award typically of money to be paid to a person as compensation for a loss or injury. The rules for damages can be frequently do vary based on the type presented. Breach of contract versus a tort in the jurisdiction. I hope y'all know what I'm talking about. But at common law, when I tell you don't get connotated, don't have nobody have you in the wrong systems, doing the wrong things. But at common law, damages are categorized into compensatory, what I say, actual damages, punitive damages. You know what I mean? That's why our prophet said they are going to have to pay. Understand the wisdom. Get out of the carnal. Don't you know it's so much stuff. Captain John Hawkins captured so many Moors. He was given the ship Jesus by Queen Isabella and a Demi Moore banner as a testimony of his enslavement of the Moors. I'll show you a picture of that. Can you see that? Can you see it? For yourself. You don't got to listen to me, man. More all through history. Yeah, black is beautiful. It's not a nationality. We understand that. Black is a slave caste label like white is, and you know what the white caste represents. I hope we know. But if you really think about something, man, a Moor with his nationality is considered a part of the white caste at law because he is a whole and not a 3/5. I hope you know this wisdom, man, that I'm giving you, man. That's why the word black as a verb has its origin in black, adjective. English, black, dark, from Proto-Germanic, blackish, burn. Cognates, Old Norse, black, dark. High German, blah, or black. I mean, I hope y'all know what I'm saying, man. Bleach, follow me. Old English, bleach, whiten, from Proto-Germanic, blacken.